So, James, having established that motivation is dynamic and changeable, in your opinion, how often should people take the diagnostic?
Well, if we were living in a relatively stable and secure universe, I would say, one's motivational profile remains relatively stable over an 18 month to 2 year period. But in a period of intense change and uncertainty, like we're in now under COVID, for example, where the whole world is being turned upside down, where people's job security is being threatened, I would say companies that wish to really get the best out of their staff, who wish to retain their best staff and wish to understand what is going on with their staff, would actually run the maps every 3 months or so.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. And I think also, we've had the pandemic, we're coming out of it, but I think we live in a disruptive world now anyway, where things are changing all the time. So it would be a bit arrogant to say that your business is not changing all the time. And therefore the motivations of the staff are getting impacted positively or negatively. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
I totally agree with you. I mean, Peter Drucker, the erstwhile greatest management consultant in the 20th century, he reckoned only two things made money for a business. One of them is marketing, which is obvious. But the surprising thing was, he said that the other thing that makes money for a business, and he said everything else was a cost, was innovation. So, in fact, the companies that survive, the companies which actually really have longevity, are the companies that have to innovate. Now, whether that's innovation of product, service, processes, systems, or you name it, they have to innovate. So what we're talking about is change. We're talking about a fundamental level, and this pace of change has accelerated. So we really now, more than ever, need to understand what our staff are feeling, how motivated they are, and what is motivating them, if we are going to get on top of really deploying them effectively. In other words, managing them effectively, leading them effectively. Yeah,
I'd agree. I think you have to be empathetic to the change and people's response to the change. Some people will like it, but most companies now have to be agile in order to survive.
Exactly.
And it's not going to go away after COVID. No. It's going to be increased, I think.
No, absolutely. One of the things that's come to me is a sort of HQ for Motivational Maps is, we've got over 800 coaches, consultants and trainers in 15 countries who use our product. This COVID has completely changed it, and the number of coaches have said to me, "I've had to change my business model now."
Yeah.
This is forcing a change. So if they're not going to actually change, they are dead in the water.
Yeah.
So even something as simple as a coaching service has got to rethink what it's doing from first principles in order to actually thrive and succeed in the new world order, as it were.
And there's an opportunity in that, because if you pivot, you have to think about what best fits your motivations, how your motivation is going to work with pivoting.
Yeah, there's no good pivoting in a way or changing in a way in which you actually contradict what fundamentally you want to do.
Yeah.
So, for example, there are some coaches who are really people persons. They thrive on being with and in front of the client. There's no good saying to them, well, what you need to do now is get all your stuff online, and that'll solve your financial problem because everyone will buy you something like. If that's not what floats their boat, how effective are they going to be if they're not really motivated to create all this online material, which is what the kind of conventional wisdom would be. They've got to think about it from another angle.
Yeah, it's a great observation, because if they love audiences and they feed off audiences, and they can't do it physically through Zoom, you can do it to a point, then basically the whole point of their business, which is being in front of audiences, has gone.
Yes. So what do they then do? So, I mean, we're not trying to provide a solution to that. I know of people with solutions to that problem. And so this is really exciting. But as you rightly point out, it is being aligned with the motivators, your motivators, to make the business. If it's not, as you said, you'll meet resilience at some point and you'll crash because there won't be enough of it and you'll be running on empty.
Yeah, you'll be working for the money, not actually for the love.
Exactly.
And if you haven't got the passion, probably not going to succeed.
Yes. Actually, it's a great word to use, love, because we don't talk about it a lot in Motivational Maps because it's a business. But at the end of the day, when you start providing opportunities for people, including yourself, to work with your motivators, it's a form of loving them. Well, because it feels good.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because if you think about us as human beings, we spend most of our life sleeping, the rest of it working, and we'll have some social time. So surely the working piece should be enjoyable and should meet your motivations.
Absolutely.
And if it doesn't, you've got a life of misery.
Exactly so.
And you're probably not going to get much sleep.
No. Now, why do that to yourself? Hey, take a motivational map instead. Exactly. Find out what it is that's turning you on, and
then build it around.
Build around it, dovetail it into it.
And companies can do the same. Once they harness the motivations, they get the talent.
Yeah. Well, I think we're agreeing here, Steve.
I think we're on
on the same page.
We might be onto something.
Yeah, we might be. Let's hope the world can catch up with us.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.